date on what goes on when it gets late. Along about midnight, the ghosts and banshees get together for a jamboree. There's ghosts with horns and saucer eyes. Some have fangs about this size. Some short and fat, some tall and thin, and some don't even bother to wear their skin.
I'm a-telling you, brother, it's a fearful sight just to see what goes on in the night.
When the spooks have a midnight jamboree, they break it up with a fiendish glee.
Ghosts are bad, but the one that's cursed is the headless horseman. He's the worst.
When he goes jogging across the land, holding his noggin right in his hand, demons take one look and groan.
Then they hit the road for parts unknown.
Well, there's no rage like a spook that's burned.
The ghost don't like a man, he's really burned.
He swears to the longest day he's dead.
Well, I'll show them that I can get ahead.
Wow, 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 wow.
So close all the windows,
Lock all the doors.
unless you're careful, why he'll get yours.
Don't think he'll hesitate a bit, cause he'll clip your top if it will fit.
He likes them little, he likes them big. Part him in the middle or wear a wig.
Black or white or even red.
The headless horseman needs a head.
With a hip, hip, hip and a clippity-clop.
Why, he's out looking for a head to chop. So don't stop to figure out a plan, 'cause you can't reason with a headless man.
With a hip, hip, hop and a clippity-clop. Look out!
We know what we're talking about, believe me. You better watch your cues, but take a look at the people who ignored the old good book. Change your ways, you'll find it pays, 'cause you can't be a haint if you ain't kinda crazed, I guess you'd say. Take our word, we know what we're talking about. You know, this is a pretty spooky thing we're doing here. You don't mind if I turn on another light, do you?
Hey everybody, welcome to Disney Movie Stack. This is Ray Gootz. Thank you so much for listening to the show again. I'm here with Dan Barry. How you doing, Dan?
I'm not too bad. How about yourself? All right.
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing all right. We had just watched The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr.Toad, which came out on October 5th, 1949, just in time for Hollywood. That's like 70, 80. Is that 80 years ago or 70?
Well, it's 2019 now, so
so
80. What year did it come out?
70. Yeah, 1949.
Yeah.
So we just reached 70th anniversary.
It came out when too? It came out
October 8th.
Oh, so like we're off by a few weeks, but yeah.
And it's funny because this is October 20th. We're recording this the October 30th, day before Halloween, which is funny because this is really like the only Disney horror movie. I mean, kind of horror.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's got that scary element to it, but it's funny because it's like they called it The Adventures of Mr. Toad and Ichabod, but it's the Ichabod show.
Yeah,
right?
that's the better movie.
Yeah, it's the one everyone remembers. No one remembers the Mr. Toad movie.
No. We'll get into that in a second. First of all, let me just ask you, Dan, how long have you been doing stand-up?
I started stand-up in 2011. It is now 2019, so 8 years about.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
And now, like, last week I had Andy, I forgot to say her last name. This girl Andy on the show who does comedy, but she also was a Broadway singer. You're also a double threat. You're a pro wrestler.
I am.
And how long have you been pro wrestling?
This is 19 years.
19 years?
Yeah, 19 years. I started in 2000, Long Island, New York. Wow. Yeah.
You've been wrestling for how'd you get into wrestling first? Since that's crazy.
It was one of those things you always liked as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan growing up. I started kind of like messing around in my house, and then one day I found that a wrestling school had opened up by me, and so I asked my mom to sign a waiver and let me try out pro wrestling, and then I had to pay for pro wrestling with my Sam Goody money because I used to work at Sam Goody.
Oh, there was still Sam Goody in the year 2000.
Yeah, in the year 2000 I worked there, and then I got fired from Sam Goody because they thought I was going to see the band Orgy at I don't know, some concert, Jones Beach maybe.
Wait, they didn't like the band Orgy?
No, they thought that I just called out sick so I would go to the Orgy concert.
Oh, okay.
But like really I was in a car accident and he just thought I was lying.
Oh, wow, what a dick.
Yeah.
No wonder they're out of business.
Yep. So fuck you, Sam Goody.
Yeah.
Sorry if I used the F word. And I shouldn't.
So why did he assume the band Orgy? That's such a random.
Because
band.
they had a concert that night, and they're like, "We know you went to that."
Scared.
Orgy
Who
concert."
wouldn't go to the Orgy?
And it's like they had one song out, "Blue Monday," which is a cover.
Yeah.
And I was like, first off, I don't even like that song, and secondly, like, I would have just said I was going to a concert. Like, I wouldn't say I was in a car accident. That's kind of like shattered my windshield. I couldn't drive unless I was driving like Ace Ventura.
That's a lot of work to go see Orgy.
Yeah, and they're not even worth it.
No.
No one even, like, me saying the band Orgy's name right now, like 7 people are going to remember them.
Yeah, I don't. I for a second I was like, which band was that? Okay, yeah. I just don't. I think the manager might have had a thing against Orgy, like the lead singer stole his girl or something. And he's like, all these kids love Orgy. Fuck.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, he was anti-orgy. He was more of a.
He was more of a Olander guy.
Yeah, he's
Oleander.
a monogamy in the Joneses. That was the name of his. That was his band.
He had a band.
No, I just made that up. But
shit.
he was actually a wrestler.
He was a wrestler too.
He was a wrestler.
Did he ever make it?
No, his name was Kevin Bates, and he wrestled.
Be funny if you said it was Kevin Owens.
Yeah, and his name was Hulk Hogan. Maybe you've heard of him. No,
yeah, Hulk Hogan. He was Magic and Sam Goody part time.
Yeah, times are rough.
When WCW was going under. And okay, so what made you get into stand up? Now let's get into that.
It was one of those things I always wanted to do as a kid. Like, same thing. Like, I always remembered, like, my mom tells stories about me sitting in front of a TV and, like, George Carlin would be on, and I'd be laughing along at, like, 3 years old. I didn't know what was going on, but I understood that it was funny. And then I was working on a show, and the host of the show is Tom Papa. I was a production assistant on a show called The Marriage Ref. And I was telling a story one day.
Did you meet Seinfeld?
I did.
Okay.
I was telling a story one day, and he Tom Pop was like, "Are you a comedian?" And I'm like, "No." He goes, "You have the cadence of a comedian. You should, you should maybe try and use that. Have you always wanted to do comedy?" I'm like, "Actually, I did." And he goes, "Yeah, do an open mic, see what happens." So I did an open mic, and I liked it. And
was it at Governor's or?
Yeah, Governor's in Levittown.
Okay,
I did my first show, and it was I was a week off from working on The Marriage Ref, and we had 1 week off, and it was I called on a Tuesday for the Wednesday show, and I found 6 of my closest friends who I knew would tell me.
Oh, that's right. You have to bring people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I found 6 of my closest friends to go to the Bringer show and tell me if they thought I was funny, and they said like, yeah, and they're not like people who were like
they're not Orgy fans.
Yeah, they're not. First off, they didn't like Orgy, but they basically they're people I trusted to not just laugh.
Yeah.
So and then I became almost addicted to it. So.
Oh yeah, it's really incredible.
A nightmare.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare. It's great. It's amazing.
You picked the 2 hardest careers to get into.
Yeah, I was like, you know what I don't like? What I don't like? Free time and money.
Yeah,
those are 2 things I hate.
You know what? I want 2 jobs where like it's like it's really hard to get into. Everyone's a dick. And
yeah, it's thankless. The minute you realize you had a good time, you realize you hated it because of one small thing you'll never forget. Yeah. It's a good time.
So let me know. So you grew up in Long Island, right?
I did. Yeah, I did. Belmore, New York.
So how was your childhood? Tell me about that.
Disney centric.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, we were kind of a busy Disney family. We would try and go to Disney every couple of years.
Okay.
We had every cartoon they made.
So you had all the VHS tapes.
Yes, I had the VHS in that like weird like
clamshell.
Yeah, that clamshell case that became popular with all Disney movies. Yeah, and we saw. I remember like my grandma. I'll pretty much. Whenever my grandma watched us, one Disney movie would go on, and we'd watch.
Which we'd come over.
Yeah, well, we had to stay there.
Okay.
My mom
And
would
what were some of your favorite Disney movies?
I remember. Well, first off, Ichabod Crane, the Sleepy Hollow movie.
So this was one of your favorites.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is why, like, I think when the movie was playing, like, I was like telling you, like, I vividly remember this one scene. Like,
okay. Yeah.
I remember like, the abridged version, but I started to watch Fantasia was a big one for me.
Okay.
The dancing hippos in Fantasia, I remember
Those
vividly.
are pretty cool.
And there's actually a scary what is it?
Bull Mountain.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's another one. And then as much I hate it now, but I remember watching a lot of the Robin Hood.
Okay, yeah, but that one they always had on VHS. They couldn't give that one away.
Yeah, it was just one of those ones that like, oh, we saw it at Genevieve's.
Yes, it would literally just be on the counter sitting there.
Yeah.
That and Alice in Wonderland you could not give away.
Absolutely.
Back in the old days, but like Beauty and the Beast was sold out everywhere and shit.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. We had the Beauty and the Beast was one of those ones that I remember when it came out. it was like you heard like, oh, they used computer animation with it. Everyone
Yeah,
was
did you guys go to the theater? Because I didn't really go see these in theater. Like
I didn't have. We didn't go to the movies. We only.
you
got
just
them
bought the tapes.
Yeah, we
Okay,
never got to go to the movie theater. We weren't calm enough to take to the movie theaters.
Oh, okay.
I was one of 4 boys. We didn't really have.
Yeah,
those
especially
free
for
time.
Beauty and the Beast and shit. You're not gonna sit
Yeah,
there.
absolutely not.
Yeah, because I went to go see Great Mouse Detective in theaters, but then I didn't really go see any other Disney film. We would just
The
buy
Rescuers, the Rescuers Down Under was one I think I saw in theaters, but that's not Disney.
them. A lot of my friends saw that. Yo, that's some Disney.
Is it Disney?
Yeah, yeah. Rescuers,
Oh
Rescuers
yeah, it
Down
is.
Under,
Yeah, and that's
Did-
the one.
That's the first sequel they ever did. Rescuers
Yes,
Down Under.
yes. And Fievel was the other one. Fievel's not a Disney movie.
Yeah. No, Five was not a Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like Little Mermaid, I had no interest seeing in theaters because I thought it was a girls' movie, and now I love it. But like back then when I was a kid, I was like, I don't want to see that. And then I just same thing. Like I just felt all those movies were like girls' movies. And I wound up watching the VHS and liking them, but I didn't go to the theater.
Well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a cartoonist. That was like one of my things.
Oh, that was one of your
yeah,
things.
like
Okay.
when I was real, like I used to doodle all the time. And
But then it's like, oh, wait, that career when you improve, they actually reward you. I don't want that type of
yeah, I was like, that's that. People appreciate that work. I don't want that.
I don't want
No, I just realized I could draw one dog, and that was pretty much it. So, and I only liked art passively, and that's when you realize that there's no chance of being an animator.
Yeah, you've got to be
Dedicated.
in it. You've got to be in it to win it.
Dedicated.
So you've seen this movie as a kid, right?
Yeah.
At least did you ever see the Wind in the Willows part?
Yes, I did. And I remember it, but I also don't like because my memory of it, I think, is driven by the ride in Disneyland.
Yeah, here's the weird thing about this fucking movie. So just real quick, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr.Toad, 2 separate movies. One's based on Wind in the Willows, and the other one's based on Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Mr.Toad, they have a ride. Mr.Toad, what is? I've never been to Disney World or Disneyland.
So in
Which is-
Disneyland, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, we used to laugh because we used to think of it as a toad that was drunk driving and
Okay.
like mowing stuff down. Like that's all I remembered of it. But then like you realize it's not alcohol; it's motor mania. And motor mania is what's driving him.
Which is basically alcohol.
which is just another form of manic behavior. But he the ride itself is like just like kind of a simple cart ride where you're like kind of going in and out of like doors and you're in the next frame of the movie and so
Is the
forth.
movie showing while you're riding the ride?
No, it's like recreated with like animatronics and like
So there's the
images.
weasels and shit.
Yeah,
Oh, there
I'm
are,
trying to
okay.
remember it. Like I haven't been on it in
Do they still have it?
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
last I checked.
Okay.
I will have to look that up right now because I'm kind of. I want to say yes, but I also know that that's possibly not true because I'm
Because it's they've kind of like tried to sweep that segment under the rug of that movie.
It was because I mean
You have an app for Disneyland?
Of course I do. I have a Disneyland app only because I go there. I mean,
Okay.
it's not like I'm.
You just check on the park.
Yeah, just every now and then, like
Make sure
see how
everyone's
it's
okay.
going. Yeah, they still have it. 10-minute wait right now.
Oh, the 10-minute. Oh, we should get on the car.
Yeah, it's not too late, guys.
We should head over there.
Peter Pan's flight, by the way, 35-minute wait.
Oh well, fuck Peter Pan. I like Wyndham Williams better than Peter Pan, but
Good.
that's a time for another talk. But here's the weird thing: there's no wild ride in the Wyndham Williams.
They're in the
Mr. Toad
movie
segment.
itself. They only show the image of the car.
Yeah,
And
he likes the car.
Yeah, the whole movie's based around him taking a car, but there's no actual footage of him driving it.
No, and it's basically about him trying to get his house back.
He was framed for theft.
Yes. And then him and his friends break into the house. I thought it was kind of, I don't know what you thought, but I thought it was kind of boring up until the weasels got into, when they started chasing the Toad and his friends.
I mean, it's not one of the highlights of the Disney catalog.
No.
Weasels, by the way, are obviously the Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, they look just like the Who Framed Roger Rabbit weasels.
I think
yeah.
the Who Framed stole the weasel idea, but even the chase, it was very Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Where it's like, he gets lowered down and he has to grab the paper, and then now everyone's chasing him, and then they have a million knives, and there's that trick door that no one can get into. And
The trick door thing was kind of cool. I feel like they did it in Indiana Jones, right?
Yes.
So I feel like they ripped it off this movie.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Spielberg.
Yes. Was that Spielberg for that one?
Spielberg did all the Indiana Jones.
that moving, that was the 4th one, right? Or the 3rd one?
Yeah, the 3rd one's the moving door because he's tied. Yeah, him and Sean Connery are tied up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was very similar to, because I'm watching it just now. I'm like, I've seen this before.
Yeah, this is a gag that we've seen recreated
Yeah.
previously.
But they did it pretty good in this.
Same
one.
thing with Young Frankenstein.
Oh, they did the sliding. Okay.
They did the turning door, and then he
Oh.
gets stuck in the wall, and he's like, "Put the candle back," and he puts the candle back.
So I thought that part was good, but overall I thought it was kind of slow moving. It's very British, very British.
Sorry for all the British listeners,
but I mean, it's just
I thought it was all right. I mean, but it was in lieu of character development. They just did like narration in the beginning to set up who all these people were.
Yeah, and I feel like those books, like, there's a reason why that book is like so popular. Like, kids still read it, I hope. But I remember when I was a kid, it was like, oh, this is one of the great classics of children's literature, But this is before, Twilight and Harry Potter and all that shit,
Good books. I was kidding.
What is Twilight a good book?
I don't know, man. I didn't read it.
Okay, you like Harry Potter?
No.
Okay, so
I mean, whatever. I watch the movies. I'm not really big on the. I'm a true history. Book
oh,
reader.
okay, all right. But but when I was a kid, this was like set up as one of these great fucking novels, and I feel like they didn't do enough. I also feel like, because I don't think Disney has the rights to this guy anymore, I feel like we're eventually gonna see a DreamWorks like version where they're just farting on each other.
Yeah, probably like the
Peter Rabbit.
The Toad gets kicked in the balls.
Toad gets kicked in the balls. They have diarrhea.
The barkeep is played by Seth Rogen. That's just all I want. That's what I want.
Hey kids, yeah. But overall, yeah, I think it was all right, and it gave that fucking ride, which everyone remembers.
The ride is really all it's known for now, and the ride is like a classic.
And it's fun.
I mean, it's classic Disney. I would describe it as classic.
Okay.
It's not one of those rides you go on like, whoa, it's crazy, like, but it's like, it's one of those ones you always have to visit. Same thing, Peter Pan's Flight, where it's like.
I think Mr. Toad's Wild Ride has been there since it opened, because this movie was new. This was still a new movie, and he was showing this on TV, that little segment.
Yeah.
So I think it's been there since opening, because like they're trying to promote this movie.
Yeah, it's one of those probably was sponsored by like Marlboro or something.
Yeah,
they used to have all those sponsors.
Mr. Toad is probably smoking up.
Yeah.
And then the second segment is Sleepy Hollow. What did you think of this one?
It is Beauty and the Beast if Ichabod Crane if
Gaston got his way.
No, because I think the beginning of the movie Ichabod Crane is Belle.
Oh yeah, that's
facing the book, walking around like to me it's like Gaston's almost this is if Gaston hated Belle.
Yeah.
Like
Gaston just wanted to kick Belle's ass.
Yeah, like if Belle's a man, I'd beat his ass. Like
he probably would beat up male Belle.
I'm on Brom Bones' side for this movie.
Well, here's the thing. I forgot Ichabod Crane doesn't have really like pure motives. He wants to take all her money.
First off, he's smashing every wife in town.
Yeah.
He's taking their food. He is stealing the food from their kids.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did steal food.
He has a malnourished horse he rides around. And then he sees this beautiful woman, finds out her dad's rich. So he's like, oh, I can get this buxom blonde whose dad is rich. So let me put on the charm. I'll give her flowers she already owns. I will. He's just kind of a scumbag. And then like Brom Bones, like, he's not innocent in all this, but of the total things he's done, like they even say like in the beginning, like, oh, Brom Bones is all about, having fun, but like, he's not out to hurt nobody. And then like Ichabod Crane's out there just smashing.
Literally hurting people.
Yeah, he's
literally like, emotionally abusing women.
Yeah, he's
the Harvey Weinstein of that.
He has a calendar, and every day is devoted to like some new way to like sleep with the townswomen.
By the way, how like I don't get. If I was the other guys in town, I'd be livid that he's smashing all that.
Yeah, he's just crushing their. First off, where are those kids' dads? Like,
well, maybe Ichabod had them murdered.
Ichabod's just like sneaking in,
causing divorces.
The dads are out in the Civil War. Like he's just coming in, smashing their wives, eating their turkey,
and then leaving,
and not
dancing with them.
And then he's like, he doesn't believe in spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah, he was gonna hit the kid.
He was gonna hit the kid till he realized the kid had food.
That's right. He
stole the kid's food. He's a monster.
He's kind of an asshole.
And he's eating all that food. His horse, you can see his hips. That horse is dying.
Yeah,
it's gonna be glue in like a week. And he's just running around trying to smash. Just trying to smash. Ichabod smash.
And eating, and he's not gaining weight, which I don't know how he does that.
And then Brom Bones is like, well, I want to dance with this woman. And he tries to take her home, whatever. And, again, he's a young man. He's not treating the woman properly.
No.
I'm not gonna say he is, but of the two of them, Brom Bones is all about having fun. Ichabod's all about pretending to be interested in things women like so he can have sex with them.
That's true.
Ichabod's a piece of shit.
I have to say, the blonde, what was her name? Katrina had a huge breast for a Disney.
Yeah, it was, and the narrator made no. Bing Crosby, by the way, the narrator had no problem bringing that up.
Oh, he did.
He's like, oh, she's a plump one. Like,
He's
like, it's like it's the shot is like just of her bust. He's like, yeah, she's plump. And
yeah. They did bring up her breasts, and
he's Bing Crosby was like, I'm ready to tap Katrina too.
It's funny because these middle ones, the last movie I watched, Make My Music, the cowgirl had big ass and big tits, and when they get to Cinderella, they're like, no ass, no tits. Like, we're done with that. Like, I guess that's the secret to success is a woman can't have a rack in a Disney movie. But I feel like until Ariel.
Well, I think that Cinderella, it was true love, and they're like, well, we can't make her sexy, so we got to make her.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
average.
Women like Katrina are like they just go with the wind.
Per Disney. I'm not advocating.
No, I'm saying what Disney. Yeah.
Yes. But with Katrina, I mean, Katrina was like not innocent in his either.
No.
Though she's a little bit like playing the field.
She's kind of like playing everybody against each other.
But hey, you know what? Like, she has an ability in this movie. By the way, no black people in this movie. I want to point that out.
No, not even in the Toad segment.
Not even in the Toad segment.
Well, there aren't black people for a while in these movies. I got news for you. You're waiting for a black person to show up.
No black
this
people,
is the wrong podcast.
No Jews. No Jews. No, it doesn't have. There's nothing in there aside from just wasps.
Oh boy, there were black people in Fantasia, but they edited them out. So.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
There were some black people in Fantasia, and they said not on our watch.
No, Disney was like,
and also Dumbo. The crows are black.
Well, I wasn't going to go there.
Okay, but they are.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Whoopi Goldberg's a big fan. I covered this in the Dumbo episode.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure she. I like this segment a lot.
It's a good one.
It's really good. I really like the design of the headless horseman.
Oh yeah, no, it's a startling change in the movie.
Yeah.
Because and the way they built up the tension of Ichabod like slowly creeping into this thing, and then there's the subtle release of, oh, thank God it wasn't anything serious, and then suddenly it's the Headless Horseman.
Yeah, and I really like the chase with the Headless Horseman. I like that he's really probably, I mean, I don't know much about him. They didn't get into his backstory. When I was a kid, I always thought it was
Brom
Bone in there. But then he looks inside and there's no head.
Right. That's what one of my next questions was, do you think it was Brom Bones? And in
some versions, I think they say it is the Brom Bones.
Well, the whole point is, I think it's supposed to leave you in this like vein of like, is it or isn't it?
Yeah. Or did he escape or did he die?
I think the book will tell you that it wasn't Brom Bones.
Yeah, but I think in the book kind of like it's much more clear that he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Ichabod.
No, I think in the book he actually lives. Am I wrong? I thought in the book he leaves town.
I think it's still like kind of mysterious of what exactly happens.
I think he leaves town and then Brom still marries, or Abraham.
Brom definitely gets to tap that ass.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about that in every version.
They get married. I wouldn't call it tapping ass. I mean, they're in love.
Well, he still taps it. I mean, he
eventually,
unless like it was a really bad marriage.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know,
we gotta figure. I guess for this sequel,
he might have got called into war. You know, he could have been dead. Who knows?
And funny enough, this is like the only real horror movie in the Disney animated canon.
I wouldn't even call it horror.
Well, I mean, the last half is horror.
Right? Yeah, I think it's a twist.
Yeah, I mean, like I know it's a stretch because there's nothing in the Mr.Toad thing that has horror elements, but I mean, this is like really the only, because it takes place on Halloween. This is like the most Halloween appropriate animated Disney film,
and it's well done. And you forget that it's not a long movie. It's 35 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it feels longer.
You think it's like, you remember it being like a 90-minute movie because I guess because you're a kid and you don't really think about it. But like, that movie was 35 minutes.
I really feel like this one they could remake either in live action or CGI. Like, if they ever wanted to like remake a Disney animated film, which they've never done before, I think this is the one they could turn into a 90-minute movie.
Yeah, but I mean, they did it with Johnny Depp. Well, Disney didn't do it.
Well,
but
Disney and Paramount did it.
Tim Burton, and I hated it.
Well, yeah, but I think like if you get the right writers and directors,
It stars me, right?
and it stars with you.
Yeah.
Well, it's animated. You
Yeah.
could do the voice too of Brom Bozel.
By the way, the song for this movie, very weird.
Yeah, well, all the music here is weird. And it's funny because it's Bing Crosby, so you would think that he was going to...
They all sound like jingles.
Well, yeah, the
It's a
music in these
jingle.
movies is very strange. He doesn't really go back to, we need to, like, basically think of these, like, Broadway plays until Cinderella,
Yeah,
which is, like, you know, it's a play. It's a musical.
but this song, it's like, it's each person's song is a jingle. It's treated as if like a commercial.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
everything
dun.
has it like a Ichabod crane, and like, or you head over to the headless horseman. He's like, he's gonna chop your top. He's the headless horseman. It's like it's all that sort of like we're selling Kellogg's cereal. Like that's.
I don't think Bing Crosby putting in his best work.
Oh, he was drunk in the booth.
This was before, Friend Like Me and stuff made people like I'm sure Robin Williams made millions off that song and stuff.
He's loaded as a result of it.
He's dead, but
his family was loaded as a result of it. But Bing Crosby just got drunk in the booth, and he did the voices for Brom Bones and Ichabod
and the Headless Horseman.
and the Headless Horse. Well, did he do the laugh?
Yes, I think he did. And no, he didn't.
No.
He doesn't have that in him.
No, he was.
He was just like,
hey, Ichabod. Like,
But I feel like back then, like now, if you cast fucking, I'm trying to think here, like Adam Driver in the next Pixar film, he's gonna take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like now and I feel like this all started with Robin Williams. That's when people started being like, I gotta take this cartoon voice acting seriously, because I think it did a lot for Robin Williams, that movie.
but just
back
picturing
then-
the intensity of Darth Vader, Adam Driver as Ichabod Crane.
Yeah, that would be good. Or he could be the Brom Bozel. But back then, I feel like if you got, hey, can you do a cartoon? Bing Crosby probably treated it like he was, doing a porn, basically, because nobody had respect for these things back then.
Oh yeah, I'm in town today.
Yeah.
I'll come over. Just give me some brandy,
Just
Ichabod.
keep it porn. Yeah, Ichabod
Crane. And then my favorite is like the way they transition from Toad to this, where it's like well, over here in the colonies, we still have some stories too. It's like, what, the colonies?
Yeah, they like why? Yeah, why
the
would you?
40s.
Were they still like angry about the Revolutionary War back then?
I think at that point we were fighting together in World War II. So I mean, really, like.
I know. Is anyone in England still mad that we like got our freedom? Like those you fucking colonists.
I think that's like one of the funnier jokes is like whenever somebody goes like on Top Gear, they'll say like the colonies every now and then, like just because it's a funny, stupid thing.
Yeah, I know.
But like, it was just funny the way. I mean, I'm sure it's because it's older books and whatever, and it's like over here in the colonies.
But I mean, there's still white people in the South mad that black people have any type of rights. So there's got to be somebody in like 1937 in England being like, these fucking Americans
should have stayed with us.
Yeah. I don't know why they sound American, the guy in England.
Well, because we can't do accents. But
yeah.
this is like the first this was like the first Disney movie to me that like I kind of knew the places they were talking about too.
Oh yeah, like
Tarrytown,
and
Sleepy Hollow, like those are real towns.
Yeah, and they still have, I think they still do celebrations, right?
They do. I actually went to the Headless Horseman Park, which is actually in Ulster. It's not even in.
Are they still claiming it's a real story? Or are they like, no, this guy?
No, I mean it's the legend of Sleepy Hollow, right? Like,
okay. Because sometimes they were. I know the town at one point was trying to say it was real.
Well, Amityville. I live in Amityville.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're recording live from Amityville, around the corner from the house, right?
Right around the corner from that haunted house, and the people still people still ask us, like, or people have asked me, like, hey, is it? Do you believe that? And it's like the dude actually came out and said it wasn't real. Like, the dude, whatever his name is, DeFranco. What's his name?
The guy who got the house after because the kid murdered his whole family.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said it was bullshit, and people still ask if it was real. So I mean, I feel like once it's that legend status, it doesn't really matter anymore.
Well, it's funny. I haven't been here in a few years, and I've never been here around Halloween time. But I remember as soon as I got in the car with you, I asked you, "Do they have any type of celebrations tonight?" And you were like, "No, they don't. They don't."
No one gives a shit.
No one gives a shit.
Like no one's even. I have candy for trick or treaters tomorrow. No one's coming.
Okay. See, I have to see because you've seen my house, right?
Yeah.
I've got to stay home because if they ring my bell, no one's like, this fucking house has no candy.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, but you're like, your house is also like the one house in between like a car dealership and like a Korean church. So I feel like people are gonna be like, it's over there. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go.
like because like my house is like basically Halloween Central at this point.
My house is not.
Yeah, you would not know it's Halloween at this house.
Not at all.
You do not. But although the haunted mansion stuff, he has haunted mansion. Is this like rare? I'm looking at an old school haunted mansion.
No,
sign.
so I have one. The one rare thing I think I have is a drawing of Goofy. That's
Oh,
from
yes.
like 1940.
So you can
something.
buy this at like Disney World.
Yeah, I got that at Disney World. When I was buying this house, or before I bought this house, I wanted to have like some Disney stuff in here because I grew up in a Disney family, and Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride, and so I was like, oh, let me get some Haunted Mansion stuff, and I spent way more money than I probably should have on just Haunted Mansion stuff.
So I see like there's this sign and there's
The one
this
this
mirror.
is the sign over here that's like when you walk into the Haunted Mansion. That's the sign at the gates.
Okay.
On the other side we have Madame Leota. If you don't see her from right here, but if you go around the corner over there, she's on the wall over here.
Okay.
I have Haunted Mansion coasters.
Oh wow.
I have.
So they have a ton of haunted mansion stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't try and I. It's only like things that like I think like I happen to think this was gonna match this wall, right? Which I think it does. This happens to match in the same color palette. Madame Leota matches that color palette, so it's kind of like there's a reason, you know.
Okay.
It all has its place. But I like the animation side too. So you have Goofy. You have I have one of the Steamboat Willie like
Yeah, I saw
the
that.
hand drawns.
I saw the Mickey Mouse stick. Is that a sticker or
That was
magnet?
that's a magnet when I was a annual pass holder.
Oh yeah, Jesus, you're fucking.
Yeah.
Intense.
Well, I was going like 3 times in 1 year because like I had a family trip. I go down for Halloween every year, and the way it worked out was I was going in like September the year before. I was going in October the year before, and then that next year I was going to be there in September. So that's 2 trips, and then I was going with my family for 1 trip. So I was like, well, I might as well get a yearly pass for this year because it would have been cheaper to do the yearly pass than it would be to buy those tickets every single time we went. So
Can I tell you a good story about me as a kid with Disney World? So I lived with my, you've been to my house.
yeah,
Upstairs was my 2 aunts and my uncle, and they were all brothers and sisters. And downstairs was my dad and my mom. My dad's from Mexico. The whole family lived in California. So my aunt goes when I'm like 7 or 8. She goes up to my dad and she's like, "Hey, he should really meet his family, and also he should go to Disney World. So I'm gonna like throw you, whatever it costs, plane ticket. You stay with the family, but he should meet his family, and he's got to go. I'll pay for Disney World, whatever you want to do there." And my dad was like, "No, I'm busy with work." And he was like, "Oh, you don't really want to go to Disney World. It's not that great." That's what he told me, and I'm like, I look back and I'm like, why the fuck didn't we go on that trip?
probably because it might have been a point
I also
of
think
pride.
he was kind of sick of his family at that point.
Well, maybe it was a point of pride where he's like, I don't want other people to pay for my kid to go to Disney.
I know, but then she left $40,000 to a neighbor in her will, so like we should have just taken that $40,000 and went to Disney World with it.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, why did the neighbor get it when we could have spent it on Goofy?
Yeah,
and
you-
I could have had Haunted Mansion shit in my house.
You could have.
Yeah.
You're missing out, actually.
Yeah, I know. I really got to see it. That's what I think I'm gonna do. The last episode after I get through all the movies, I'm gonna go to Disney World, Disneyland, and I'm gonna review it. I've never been there before.
You're gonna review Disney.
I'm gonna review the theme park. Yeah, 'cause I've never been there before.
You
so I
just
guess
can't go during the busy season. You have to go during the down season. Because if you go during the busy season, you're gonna hate it.
Well, I think we're gonna get up to Frozen 2 around November of next year. Is that busy or not?
Week
busy?
after Thanksgiving. Go the week after Thanksgiving.
That's that.
That's the dead time.
Okay, that'll be around the time
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Because
Not
there's
the
also another movie.
Not the weekend after Thanksgiving.
No.
The week after.
Obviously, Black Friday is probably mild.
No, that whole weekend's awful. So don't
Yeah.
go.
Have you been there
Always.
on that weekend?
Yeah. Long time ago.
Okay, and it sucked.
Awful.
All right.
Waiting online for things, bullshit. I don't do that.
So I like this. I do like these 2 movies a lot. I don't know. Have you seen? I'm gonna name these movies. You let me know which ones you've seen. Saludos Amigos, Three Caballeros, Make Mine Music, Fun and Fancy Free, and Melody Time. Have you seen any of them?
Three Caballeros.
Yeah.
I feel like I've definitely seen the Fancy Free movie. I don't remember it.
Okay, it's with Bongo the Bear and Mickey and the Beanstalk. Those are the 2 segments. It's
Making
like
the
this.
Making the Beanstalk, I definitely know.
You probably would. Have you seen the version that where the Charlie McCarthy puppet keeps interrupting and talking over the movie?
Yes.
Oh, so you have. Okay, so you have
Yeah.
seen Fun and Fancy Free. So they're pretty shitty movies. Did you like Fun and Fancy Free or no?
I vaguely remember it, so I'd be hard pressed. I probably wouldn't like it, honestly.
You were not gonna like it.
But this is during the time when all the animators are at World War II.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
So
What I'm saying
like
is
half completed movies pushed into one movie. You're not gonna get.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. But this is the first movie that feels like he's coming back. He's coming back to his the real Disney is coming back. This movie,
Right, but only because of Ichabod.
yes, though still
Mr. Toad. I mean, they're all like animated really well. It's just the story sucks.
But also the animation is much better than it was in the other movies too.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, there's it just feels like the old magic is slowly coming back, but he's not there yet. But then the next movie, he's fucking back. Cinderella.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. You said off the podcast you're not gonna have kids. You still stick to that after this movie? Okay. This movie didn't make you change your mind?
No.
Okay. I don't think this movie was.
I mean, I don't need to have kids to watch this movie.
I know.
In fact, I can afford Disney Plus now that I don't have kids.
I know. Who needs those? But let me ask you quick. Would you recommend parents show this to kids?
Yeah, because I feel like people get so scared about dumb shit, and it's like. Yeah, Disney still, like I was saying, Disney still gets complaints about this movie,
which is weird to me. How much you want to bet they edit it on Disney Plus? I feel like a lot of these old movies are gonna get outrage articles either on Twitter or Disney Plus from retard millennials who never saw these.
Yeah, there's gonna be a short, I think there's gonna be people complaining about every element of this movie, forgetting it's from the 40s.
That he was he beats kids.
He's a womanizer. He beats kids.
The bad guy wins in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be all sorts of dumb. What are you teaching our kids? 80 years ago, 70 years ago, this is what we taught them.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like you should show it to kids because I feel like you expose them to scary things and they'll be accustomed. They'll be okay. It won't be so bad.
Yeah, and I don't think this is that scary because it eases into it. It's not like the first scene, someone's getting stabbed in the face or something. It's it's kind
holding a kid's attention for this long for some of these movies are gonna be real rough.
Though. Well, when I saw they showed this in school, Sleepy Hollow, because they cut it up in the 80s. This wasn't one complete movie. You could buy VHS tape of Wind in the Willows or a VHS tape of Sleepy Hollow. And they showed 2 days before Halloween in 5th grade, the Sleepy Hollow version. And we were all kind of into it,
But then you also don't have phones.
What?
You didn't have phones.
We didn't have phones, 10. Yeah. We didn't have YouTube, watch some kid unbox. So,
it's not the same.
Well, yeah.
Now kids are like, all right, this is kind of...
It's kind of boring.
Where's the headless horseman? I haven't seen him yet. I've just seen some scrawny dude eat.
Yeah. They kind of don't go into there's a headless horseman until the very end, and then they're like, guess what? There's this fucking horseman.
It also shows you the standards of people back then when you see an Ichabod Crane and be like, he has a way with the ladies. It's like, what?
Yeah, he's hideously ugly. Yeah,
he looks like a monster.
But then again, have you seen some comedians that get laid a lot? They look like.
No, I have not.
Okay.
but yes, no. I
don't want to name this one comic, but not that he'll ever listen to this. He'll never be like, I wonder if the Ichabod and Mr. Toad podcast mentioned me, but you ever seen what Ian Finance looks like?
No.
Okay, he's drowning in pussy.
Good for him, though.
I know. Yeah. But he kind of looks like Ichabod Crane.
Damn.
Yeah. So.
Damn.
I would actually cast him.
Good for him.
I would if he can act. I don't know. I would cast him as Ichabod.
I was trying to think who would be a really good Ichabod.
Right now,
the person I thought about, if you've ever seen American Horror Story when they're in the asylum, there's that girl who looks exactly like Ichabod Crane.
Oh, hey, you know what? That's you could do a female Ichabod now. It's cool about. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, and she's still going for Katrina.
That's right.
And Brahm is still going for her.
Is Braun still a guy?
Yeah.
So you have a bisexual Katrina.
Yeah, obviously.
And a lesbian dies horribly for the Headless Horseman.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, she doesn't have to die. I mean, she could run away.
It's up in the air.
Yeah, you leave it open ended, like Tarantino, and then you just move on.
Like which when did Tarantino leave it open ended?
What was in the suitcase?
Oh yeah, that was okay. Yeah, but they kind of told you what happened to the characters. Okay, that's true.
I tend to leave things. That's why whenever I think about something being left open ended, or I could say Inception. I mean, I could have said
that. Yeah, Inception's open ended. Joker is kind of. Did you see Joker yet?
Not yet, man.
Oh, never mind. So I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so listen. So I know tomorrow you have a show in Boston, but this podcast is going to be out for 6 weeks. Is there anything that you want to plug that's overall?
I have no idea. What's in 6 weeks? I don't even know where I am.
December, I guess.
Christmas. So if this is before...
This will be before Christmas, yeah.
Will it be December 13th, 14th.
Plug it anyway.
I'll be at TID this season on December 13th and 14th in Buffalo, New York, where I'll be wrestling. Also, it's a concert featuring the band Every Time I Die. Always a good time. I don't know if I have any other shows coming up that weekend.
How about WrestleMania weekend? Since this will definitely be out before then.
Well, I'm sure there will be things for WrestleMania weekend. I don't know if they'll be announced by that point, so I feel like it's weird. But I will be WrestleMania weekend in Tampa, Florida, which would be, let me just make sure, weekend of April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. I'll be in Tampa, Florida.
Sweet. Now let me ask you this quick question, because I just thought a lot of wrestlers are in the Disney World, right? Disney World.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is that? Because they're traveling a lot, so they need like distractions to.
No, because we're all children.
Oh, okay, there you go.
We don't grow up, and we don't like being mature, and so we get to live like Peter Pan, and we go to Disney.
Just go to theme parks.
Yeah, to me, it's like I make my own rules. When I'm on the road, it's like, hey, I'm in Orlando. I'm gonna go to Disney. I don't care. I've gone to Disney by myself and done all 4 Disney World parks in one day.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, there's more than 4 if you count the water parks, but I didn't count the water parks.
Okay, you go on the rides by yourself?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty dope. I never have done that.
I've gone to Disneyland by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've done, I think sometimes you can get more done if you're by yourself, and then
That's true. I get more done at Comic-Con when I'm by myself.
yeah, I don't ever go to Comic-Con, but if I did, I would probably go alone.
Yeah, you just because you want to buy your. Because sometimes I'll be at a booth and I'll have a friend be like, "We gotta move," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying."
you want to go look at this? No,
I'm
I
like,
don't.
and it's like somebody who's not spending money. I'm like, bro, I'm spending money here for shit
Yeah.
around my house.
Yeah, I'm decorating.
Yeah. All right, so where can people find you on social media and shit?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Dan Barry, all one word, BARRY, not BERRY. You people who now always seem to fail at that. Yeah, follow me there. You can go to my wrestling t-shirt from me at prowrestlingtees.com/Team Tremendous. Otherwise that's.
Yeah, so there you go. That's Dan Barry. Thank you so much for joining us. Actually, our podcast was longer than Mr. Toad segment, so
It was. And actually, it's longer than Ichabod Crane segment right now.
yeah. So you know what? But we're way more entertaining than the Mr. Toad segment. I don't know about
always.
Ichabod, but yeah. So definitely check out this movie. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Next week is going to be Cinderella with Camille Theobald. We're back in another golden age. We're out of the weeds with all this weird Disney shit. So thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks, Dan.
Hey.